Imagine this. The next big decision about your career, your project, your raise, maybe even your promotion, isn't made by a person, but by an algorithm. That's what we're talking about today, the huge ethical questions that come up as AI becomes a bigger and bigger part of our work lives. We're going to use John C. Roosevelt's The Future of Work as our guide to really unpack the challenges we're all facing. So let's just start with a question that really hits home. Could an algorithm be the reason you get passed over for a promotion? I mean, think about it. As more and more companies use AI for things like hiring and performance reviews, this isn't some far-off sci-fi idea anymore. It's a real-world ethical problem that we all really need to get our heads around. And this quote from the book, it just cuts right to the heart of the problem. You see, AI isn't created with its own biases. It learns from us. When we feed it data that's already soaked in our own historical prejudices, the AI doesn't just learn those biases, it can actually amplify them, and at a massive scale. Okay, so our starting point has to be the single most significant ethical hurdle with AI in the workplace, this idea of hidden bias and all the invisible risks that ride along with automation. It's so important that we're all on the same page about what AI bias actually is. This isn't some evil, malicious code. It's actually a lot simpler and, in a way, more unsettling than that. It's what happens when an AI gives us skewed results simply because it was trained on skewed, biased data. Essentially, it's just a mirror reflecting our own human and societal prejudices right back at us. And this chart right here, it shows you exactly how that happens. Just imagine an AI that's been trained on a company's hiring data from, say, the last 50 years. Well, if that data reflects a history of preferring men for leadership roles, the AI is going to learn that pattern. And if nobody steps in, it's just going to keep repeating that inequality over and over again. So what do we do about it? Well, the book lays out a few key strategies. It all starts with the data itself, making sure it's diverse, making sure it's representative, and not just some echo of the past. It also means doing regular audits to catch any unfair outcomes. But what I think is really interesting is the focus on the human side of things, making sure the teams who build these systems are diverse themselves, and that the company is totally transparent about how its AI is making decisions. You know, this whole problem with bias, it really points to a much bigger tension at play. It's this core conflict that pretty much every organization is going to face when they bring in AI. That constant push for more and more efficiency versus the fundamental need to protect our human values. This image really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? We all know automation can be a rocket booster for productivity, but where do things like fairness and dignity and empathy fit into that equation? The goal can't just be about making work faster. It has to be about making work more, well, more human. And that leads to a really crucial idea. AI should be a tool that enhances what we humans do, not a system designed to replace us. The idea is to let it handle the repetitive, data-crunching work, which frees us up to focus on the things we are uniquely good at. Complex problem-solving, creative thinking, innovation, and just connecting with other people. So that's the goal. But how do we actually get there? How do we do this in the real world? Thankfully, the book gives us a pretty practical framework for building trust in AI, one that can create an environment where everyone, from leaders to employees, can actually feel confident in the systems they're using. The book lays out 6 pillars that are absolutely essential for building that trust. It all kicks off with transparency and accountability, which means everyone knows how AI is being used, and there's always a human being who's ultimately responsible. Then you've got to have regular audits to catch bias, and this one's critical, employee involvement, so that the tools are actually useful. And all of that has to be built on this solid foundation of data privacy and a really strong company-wide ethical culture. So when you pull all this together, it becomes incredibly clear that an ethical, AI-powered workplace isn't just going to magically happen on its own. It's an active process. It's something that requires conscious, dedicated effort from everyone involved, leaders, developers, and every single employee. And if there's one single idea to take away from our time here today, it's this. It's simple, but it's powerful. An ethical AI future is something we have to build on purpose. It doesn't happen by accident. It takes deliberate planning, it takes constant attention, and it takes a deep commitment to putting our human values right at the center of all this technological progress. If you want to explore these strategies in more detail, The Future of Work by John C. Roosevelt is really an essential guide for anyone trying to find their way in our increasingly automated world. You can find it on Amazon. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.